Hello everyone, this is Aegis, and this is the 5th game between the University of Houston and the University of Texas at Austin. And here is jaMble spawning as the purple Protoss player here, and his opponent is going to be Trimaster. Trimaster spawning as the green Terran player. And just to note, this is from the Collegiate Star League. You can check out their website at cstarleague.com. In addition to that, I just took a look at the match history for both of these teams. In the race for the playoffs, Houston is number 3 in their division, and that does guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. The University of Texas at Austin is just a little bit outside of that range. If they can win this game, they will be able to pull into the playoffs and even the record with Houston. But if Houston wins this game, they will be able to maintain their spot as one of the top schools in their division. There are 18 teams in the division, I believe. So Houston is quite a strong team. We'll see if jaMble is able to pull it off for the University of Texas at Austin, and see if Trimaster is able to maintain the lead. Trimaster is probably the one of the strongest players on the team for him to be selected to play the ace match. He does have a SCV scouting over here already, checking for any cheese coming out of jaMble. There's tons of pressure on these two players. Anything can happen at this stage. We'll see what they decide to do on this map everyone loves. It is called Xel'Naga Caverns. Does have 2 of these Xel'Naga towers. I don't really see the Caverns part of it though, but Xel'Naga tower is always a good thing to have your SCVs, probes, Zealots units stopping by to get a great sight range. That probe just stopped by over there to get a good look. jaMble getting his gas up, pretty standard build here. He is racking up the minerals though. His macro is a little bit shoddy right now. I'm not too sure what he's trying to do. He could have gotten down that cybernetics core a little bit earlier, could have gotten a pylon a little bit earlier to be able to not be supply blocked. Or, well, he did get a pylon down, but it seems like his macro is a little bit slipping. Usually you don't have that many minerals at that point of stage when you're playing Protoss. I do play Protoss. I don't, so yeah, just picking on him. Alright, so jaMble is getting a second gas, so he does look like he will be teching or going for a lot of sentries, and then in the expansion, his opponent is going for additional barracks. So we're probably going to see some Marine Marauder play. Trimaster going for those Reapers once again. We saw those in his game against Excellent. Was almost able to do a lot of damage, but Excellent was able to stop those Reapers from doing the damage. He was quite a bit ahead, but did slip on his macro and did end up losing the game. So we'll see if jaMble's able to redeem this match for Austin, and if the Trimaster can be able to, I guess, slay jaMblle to have revenge for his ally Sly, who does play on his team. Warp Gate research is nearing done. He could chrono boost that a little bit more. I guess he doesn't have the energy for that. Maybe spending some energy on the probes, wanting to get more economy out early to match the Terran mules. Marines, Marauders pumping out here. The Reaper just stopping by the Xel'Naga watchtower, not really doing any scouting functions. Just kind of poking over here, and is moving back once again. Going to be able to attack, using the attack move to pick off any probes. Should be able to sneak by that probe. Is going to get a kill on that probe. Does pick off a probe here, and jaMblle does look like he's going for that expand with sentries. He'll be warping in a bunch of sentries as soon as his warp gate technology is done. I would prefer it if he had another gateway or 2, depending on what kind of build you're going for. Trimaster is also getting his expansion command center up. jaMblle is going to be a little bit delayed on his expansion, but not too far delayed that it's a horrible. So those sentries are now spawning out. He's chrono boosting his gateways because he does lack those production facilities. His money is so high, he could get more production facilities, get some tech up. It does look like Trimaster is continuing to get those mass barracks units, now scouting around with a bunch of Marines and Marauders. This Reaper is going to be on attack move, going to scout over here to see what's going on. Trimaster's units moving up to the front while he secures his expansion command center. This makes this expansion feel so safe, even getting a bunker up. We do have jaMble moving back over here, trying to pick off that Reaper. Additional units moving over here. Does look like jaMble is completely out of position. He's going to lose a lot of probes to this right now. No stim up, so he's going to be fighting on the ramp, actually. Trimaster would prefer to do that with probes directly instead of waiting by the ramp. It's forcing jaMble to pull probes off the line mistakenly, I guess. These kind of small attacks do force your opponent to make mistakes, except it's not good if you lose that many units in that kind of attack. He did suicide those units. Not good to see a player suicide their units. He's now getting out those Hellions. Not quite grabbing the second gas yet. No tech coming out of Trimaster just yet. jaMble is going to continue producing those mass sentries, going to be able to utilize those force fields. I really think he should get more gateways. He doesn't have that many production facilities, so if he loses this army, he's going to be a little bit strapped for units. Starport now coming up, as well as combat shield getting thrown down by the Terran player. Gonna get those combat shields up for the Marines, making them that much more robust. The bunkers loaded up, those stalkers see the bunkers and are gonna have to back out of there. Not gonna be able to bust in there just yet. jaMble now finishing his robotics facility, still not spending his gas. He really needs to get out a ton more sentries to spend his gas or pull guys off gas. He's getting just a ridiculous amount of gas. Maybe he's experienced games where he got gas blocked and is now making up for that. jaMble's not making those probes. Make probes. Always make probes and pylons at your main and your natural. He did get supply blocked, so I don't blame him. Very high pressure game. He's trying to bust in here right now. Force field's going off, trying to hold back the units of Trimaster. He's getting his Zealots stuck in weird positions as well. And he is being forced to back out of there. Those Hellions getting force fielded off, but those sentries are considered light, so those Hellions do extra damage against those sentries. Is going to lose all of his sentries, and he only survives with that one stalker, and he even has a pylon here. Easy pickings for his Terran opponent. He should not have tried to bust in there with all of those bunkers up at the front. Trimaster is looking quite a ways ahead, especially if you look at the worker count. jaMble is falling a little bit behind, and it does look like Trimaster has been continually producing his probes for the entire time, now even getting out those medevacs to be able to reinforce his mass marine marauder play. jaMble losing more units over here. Very bad. He's going to be supply... no, he's not supply blocked because he lost so many units. And look at that again. He doesn't have the production facilities necessary to produce out of. He's getting his Colossus den up, but it's got to be too little too late. I can't really see how he's going to come back from this. He does have an observer here checking everything out, so he will be able to counter the mass marine play, but it just seems really off, his play here right now. He must be extremely nervous. Does want to win the game for the University of Texas Austin, but you just gotta play as if you're playing ladder. Marines now taking down the gold bronze here. Will be able to expand to the gold expansion. jaMble is continuing to produce probes now, 2 at a time, chrono boosting them out, wants to get his natural as saturated as possible. We do have additional immortals coming out. We do have these Hellions over here, not quite doing anything yet, but jaMble is pulling back over here. There is a medevac, but that's just a decoy. Those Hellions are moving to the front. Gonna get some kills here. 2 kills on this Hellion, 2 kills on that Hellion, 4 kills on that Hellion. The probes lining up for getting to the roast on them. Those Hellions have done plenty of damage, but they do run into the bulk of the Protoss army, not quite even being able to take out that medevac over here. Huge blunders by the Protoss player, losing all of his probes. He could have walled this off completely to prevent those Hellions from moving in. Trimaster expanding once again. jaMble's now looking at 92 food to Trimaster's 106. but Trimaster has salvaged his bunkers, has 800 minerals in the bank, is going to get his infantry weapons level 1 +1 upgrade for all of his mass marines and marauders. And continuing to get those Vikings out now, going to be able to deal with the Colossus. He knows about these now, is chrono boosting out the range upgrade. Nothing else coming out of jaMble's Colossus den now, or his robotics facility. So Terran ship weapons, the level 1 is also on the way. Those Vikings will be able to pick off those Colossus really quickly now. There's 4 Vikings out on the field to that 1 Viking. What you want to do is make sure you don't overproduce the Vikings and not have any ground forces to deal with the Stalkers and Zealots on the ground. It does look like jaMble lost his pylons on this side to a drop, to a Marauder drop, and is moving his entire army over here to try to deal with that. The vulnerability is that Terran can actually move an army over here, come in here, snipe a Nexus, and then kind of medevac out of here as well. jaMble is getting a good look at Trimaster's expansion here, and he'll want to be trying to secure his expansion soon as well. But Trimaster is doing a great job with the medevacs, doing a contain on jaMble just with the mobility, forcing his slow army of sentries and stalkers and immortals and colossus to just wander back and forth. And it does look like jaMble might be trying to do a bust-in on this planetary fortress, but as soon as that finishes, there's no hope. Those Vikings trying to get those shots off on the Colossus. Colossus not taking any core damage yet, but as soon as more Vikings are out on the field, it does look like they'll be able to do tons of damage and to prevent the Marines and Marauders from taking the splash damage from that Colossus. No upgrades for jaMble just yet. We do have the Terran ship weapons level 1 finishing up, and now picking off a medevac drop once again. We'll want to work on those back rocks though, should do that right away, killing off there. If we look at the income tab, Trimaster is quite a ways ahead. He can drop more mules here, mine more gas than his opponent, even getting the Ghost Academy up. Add some ghosts in the mix in case his opponent does decide to go for Templar. Ship weapons level 2 and weapons, ground weapons level 1 coming up for the Terran player, as well as ghosts now on the way from those barracks, continuing to produce those Vikings. Now moving forward for jaMble, gonna try to bust this planetary fortress. He needs to make this happen in order to come out ahead in this game. Trimaster moving his Vikings over here, wants to try to snipe that Colossus with the 9 range Vikings. Moving back and forth, gonna shoot that Colossus, almost taking it down taking it down there. No more Colossus out on the field for our Protoss player jaMble. Very sad day for Protoss. Just has this entirely ground-based army, and I hear additional medevacs drops. Taking out pylon over here. jaMble's nearing 150 food, but his opponent Trimaster is at 143. His macro is slipping a lot. 200 minerals in the bank. He's got to keep producing. Cloak going down for those ghosts. He can do a lot of damage. jaMble is actually ahead in army count right now. Trimaster needs to spend his money. He's got ghosts queued up. He can even get some siege tanks out now, while jaMble tries to secure his 3rd base. jaMble looking like he's gonna mount an attack on this right flank here. He's gearing up his entire forces. Those Zealots don't have the charge upgrade. It's so bad for them because they won't be able to get up quickly enough. He's still trying to move around here. The personal cloaking field is also going down now. There are also tons of ghosts out on the field. Terran infantry weapons level 2 is now finishing up, as well as Terran ship weapons level 1. Level 2 is also nearing completion. Additional Zealots over here trying to deal with this medevac over here with 13 HP. He just needs 1 stalker to shoot it down. Oh, jaMble in his shambles right now. He's getting pounded. He's getting his face pounded in by Trimaster with his macro. Except that Trimaster isn't spending his money. This planetary fortress makes this position so strong. Those bunkers are completely empty now. This Terran army is completely out of position. He needs to get back over here to deal with the planetary fortress getting repaired now. sentries. Gotta throw their force fields down to block off this army. Force fields going down now. The Protoss army does have a lot of Zealots in there though, so they do want to be able to get those Zealots up in the face of the Terran player, the Planetary Fortress, holding the ground. The Marines moving forward, gonna take out these expensive Immortals. Stim going down, chasing after Protoss army. Protoss just now starting to mine at the gold expansion. He's gonna have to defend at this point or risk losing the entire game. He has tons of gas in the bank. He might as well get some Templar out on the field as well. Now finally getting up the necessary production facilities as well as the upgrades. He realizes that he's now very far behind on the upgrades. Terran not getting the +3 just yet, but he is 2 upgrades ahead of the Protoss player, jaMble. Also getting the Templar archives now. It's as if he's reading my mind, but this is a replay, so no cheating is actually going on here. This 13 HP medevac is still here with these 2 Marauders, feeling good about themselves not having to participate in this battle. Medevac's healing these units up quite well here. jaMble, spend your gas, spend your gas, spend your gas. He's now chrono boosting out those attack upgrades. His Trimaster is now getting infantry weapons level 3 for those Marines and Marauders, gonna make them so strong. Those Ghosts also doing plenty of damage against the light units, gonna be able to also use the EMP, maybe get some nukes out too. We should that would be so fun to watch. It does look like Trimaster is pushing along this side with the 166th Street. jaMble moving over here on his army. Does look larger. He does have charge now, charging in there, but all his Zealots are stuck in the back. Half his army is not even shooting. EMP's going off, taking those Immortals out. The Templars don't quite have Storm yet. Does look like he's gonna lose his gold expansion and perhaps lose the game. Trimaster's positioning was just superior over there. His natural expansion is also not quite mining as much as he would like to. The Terran army is moving ahead. Those Ghosts do have the EMP, going to continue to EMP, I believe. He can even cloak them and do tons of damage. The Templar are not even going to get a chance to throw the storms down. The EMP is continually to go down. Trimaster is just busting in here with pure force, and jaMble has no response. jaMble does call GG, and the University of Houston does win this game with the huge macro play. Planetary Fortress here, Planetary Fortress at the gold, and drops everywhere. So Houston does take this game and stay in the playoffs, and Austin is just going to have to wait another day. And this is Aegis signing off. Check me out at youtube.com/AegisStarcraft2.